Welcome to section 13.3. This is the 146th session of the CISSP exam prep series. In this session, we'll see how identity management is actually built. We'll answer several questions. What is the difference between centralized and decentralized control? How does single sign-on work? And what is at risk? How do directory services and trusts fit in? How do federated identities extend trust across organizations? Where can a federation live? What is just-in-time provisioning? How do credential management systems help? And how do you keep idle sessions from becoming a whole? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because these are the plumbing decisions that shape daily access. Imagine two firms merging, each with its own login system, now needing staff to reach both without juggling two passwords, or a company sending employees to a cloud training portal it does not run. Every one of these calls for a design choice about where identity lives and how trust travels. Make good calls here, and access feels seamless while staying controlled. What is the difference between centralized and decentralized access control? It comes down to where the authorization decisions happen. Centralized control puts a single authority in charge, so a small team or even one person manages it, one change ripples everywhere, and overhead stays low. The catch is a single point of failure. Centralized systems also scale well, adding capacity as you grow. Decentralized control spreads decisions across many points, needing more people and more effort, since every change must be repeated everywhere and consistency gets harder. Think of one master key desk versus a building where every floor manages its own locks. How does single sign-on work, and what does it risk? Single sign-on is a centralized technique where you authenticate once and then reach many resources without logging in again. It is convenient, and it quietly improves security, because users juggling a dozen passwords tend to write them down, while one strong password is easier to protect. It also cuts the number of accounts an administrator has to manage. The trade-off is concentration of risk. If that one account is compromised, the attacker inherits everything it could reach, which is why these systems layer on extra protection for the credential. Think of it as a single hotel keycard that opens your room, the gym, and the pool. Convenient until someone steals the card. How do directory services and trusts fit into all this? A directory service is the centralized database that often powers single sign-on inside an organization. Many are built on the lightweight directory access protocol, and you can picture the directory as a phone book for network resources. Users and processes search it to find where something lives, but they must authenticate first, and even then it reveals only what their privileges allow. Larger environments split into security domains, each a set of subjects and objects under a shared policy. Trusts then bridge those domains so users in one can reach resources in another, and a trust can run one way or both ways. That same directory protocol also serves a public key infrastructure, letting clients query a certificate authority about a certificate. How do federated identities extend trust across organizations? Single sign-on is easy inside one company, but federation stretches it across many. A federated identity management system links your identity in one place with your identities elsewhere, and multiple organizations can join a federation where they agree to share identity information. You log in once at your own organization, your credentials map to a federated identity, and that identity gets you into resources at other members without logging in again. Crucially, joining a federation does not hand everyone the keys to everything. Each organization still decides exactly what it will share, and the matching happens quietly in the background. Picture a group of partner airlines that honor each other's loyalty status without making you re-enroll. Where can a federated identity system actually live? It can run on-premises, in the cloud, or as a hybrid of both. A cloud-based federation uses a third-party service to share identities, which is common when a company sends staff to an external training site and coordinates the federated access. An on-premises federation keeps everything in-house, ideal when two merged companies want to share authentication data across their own networks while keeping maximum control. A hybrid stitches the two together, connecting an existing on-premises setup with a cloud service, so users on either side still get single sign-on. Think of it as choosing whether the shared guest list is kept at your front desk, at an outside agency, or split between both. What is just-in-time provisioning? It is a way to create the account only at the moment it is first needed, with no administrator lifting a finger. Some federated solutions support it, automatically building the link between two parties so a new user just works. Say a company contracts a third-party benefits portal. Rather than pre-creating an account for every employee, the system waits. The first time an employee visits the portal, it confirms they are logged into a trusted network, then exchanges details like name and email to create the account on the spot, often using a shared markup language for that handoff. Picture a conference badge that prints itself the instant you walk up, instead of someone preparing thousands in advance. How do credential management systems help users and developers? They provide safe storage for usernames and passwords so people are not reinventing the wheel. Web browsers do this using a standard credential management interface, offering to save credentials, showing a chooser, and logging you back in automatically. Some federated solutions build on this so you can sign into one service using an account from another provider. There is also Identity as a Service, a third-party offering that delivers identity and access management, effectively bringing single sign-on to the cloud. It shines when internal users need to reach cloud software, letting them authenticate once and move between many cloud applications. What about dedicated apps and password vaults? These store credentials locally under strong protection. A built-in credential manager can encrypt and save what you enter, then return it when you revisit a site or app. Third-party password vaults go further, keeping credentials in an encrypted database that you unlock with a single master password, after which you can copy or autofill them. The whole scheme rests on that master password being strong, since it guards everything else. There is also scripted access, where a logon script feeds credentials automatically to simulate single sign-on in environments that lack the real thing. But because those scripts often hold credentials in clear text, you must store them in a protected location. How do you keep an idle session from becoming a hole? You manage the session so it does not stay open unattended. On desktops and laptops, a password-protected screensaver kicks in after a set idle time, often 10 to 20 minutes, forcing the user to authenticate again. Online sessions work the same way, logging you off after a period of inactivity, sometimes with a warning you can dismiss to stay in. Behind the scenes, developers lean on web frameworks that mint a session identifier at the start, carry it through every request, and can wrap the whole session in transport encryption. Those frameworks also expire sessions, with high-value applications timing out in just a few minutes, while low-value ones allow longer. Think of it as a bank teller window that locks itself the moment you step away. So let's bring it together. Centralized control is simple, but risks a single point of failure, while decentralized control spreads the load and the effort. Single sign-on gives one login to many resources, powered by directory services and trusts, and Federation carries that convenience across organizations, on-premises, in the cloud, or hybrid. Just-in-time provisioning creates accounts on demand, credential systems and vaults store secrets safely, and disciplined session management closes the door on idle access. Together, these are the building blocks of real-world identity management. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on rucloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.